Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are back in Megium with my good old trusty Limusi logging truck, the one that I talked about potentially selling, which I might do in the future, but for today it's going to be a very important vehicle to have, and that might mean that it's better to keep it in the long run, because I want to do some testing. And I want to do the best type of testing, anecdotal testing. Not anything scientifically significant because that requires a lot of repetition, consistency, and a lot of things that I don't really have. So, yeah, I just want to see how much time we can save using this shortcut compared to the long way around. So, I'm going to take logs with the Limusi truck that I just showed you. First time we are going to take it around the long way, around Geppa and then to the lumber mill down here. Second time we are going to take it up the Serpentines and then through the new mud road. And yeah, I also decided to do something for this in order to make it work out a bit better. I prepared a timer. The little downside here is that I'll need to tap out of the game in order to start and stop it, but that shall not keep us from doing stuff here. I'm currently tapped out and I can still at least walk around. The only downside is that right now you're not hearing any game sound. But yeah, let's prepare. Let's get the logs and then I'll be hitting the spacebar, which will activate the timer. I'll start at the same time and I'll just have to make sure that I'll tap back into the game. I couldn't find an app that would work the way I want to, like work in the background while still working with a hotkey or something. So this is the best that I could do here. Anyways, Oldley Lumber Mill, that's the one that you want. Fully loaded with two of them. There's going to be a bit of fluctuation in terms of just the weight of stuff, but I hope it's going to be within reason. Shouldn't be as big as something like the containers or so. Anyways, starting the engine, going first gear, and let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Thankfully the truck is not exactly an F1 car, so I can spend the time just moving the mouse around, going in and out of game's focus. I mean, if the game didn't need any focus and would just play the audio, I could just stay out of it completely, but well... It's not something that most games do. I just wish I had a better stop timer, but well, for the amount of times that I expect to be using it, I guess we can make work with it. Also, I gotta be really careful here because this thing is top heavy as all hell. But I fully expect to maybe make one mistake that requires recovery. So that's something that I'm prepared for. Not something that I would like to have, but as long as I'm consistent in that and have one fatal error in both runs, I think that should even out. There's a reason why I don't really do these things that often, but hey, I wanted to try it. And yeah, we are going to stay on the road. We are not going to shortcut through the gas station here. So one little problem that we have with this road, apart from its length, I never noticed how many lampposts there were. Oh. Was it always this many? One problem that we have here is of course the traffic. There can always be something unfortunate, like somebody just coming across us when we want to turn in or something. Thankfully there are not that many intersections here, so we should be alright for the most part. Could still have something unfortunate happening, which is less of an issue on the dirt road. On the dirt road, however, the other thing that we need to take care of is the whole lockable diff settings and all of that. I usually just go to 6 low locked if I need to rely on off-road capabilities, and then just go to top gear, and that usually works out. Might not be the smartest choice if we need something faster, but that's really only once we get to the mud road. The dirt road should be fine with just 4 high. Also, to be clear, while I'll be of course looking at the times that we are spending with each of the runs here, it's not the only thing that I'm evaluating here. Oh god. I know that basically in order to even make use of that mud road, we are limited to a very small subset of vehicles, so semi-trucks, even the Limousin semi, they are pretty much out of question. So that's why I'm using the old Limousin to begin with, even though honestly it's kind of a precarious setup with how top heavy it is. It cannot even take the regular logs, only the oak logs, which are of course about half length of the other ones, and you only get 2 of them, so it feels like you're really putting in the work for not all that much to be done in the end. So you're limited on that, and I could of course do this entire journey around this way with a semi-truck and trailer that can do 4 times the capacity, or 4 times the load, I mean. So that's one thing, and one thing I also care about is just the experience of doing this. This one right now is pretty tricky and therefore also kind of interesting because you really have to be careful. I'm gonna try and go for the bank turn here, just so that I don't run into potential trouble flipping over. That's a sketchy maneuver, but right now it feels like still the safer choice compared to taking the corner regularly. But yeah, right now this is tricky, this is engaging. Gotta pay attention, keep the thing upright, and make sure that it doesn't just tip over. Okay, this one is a tough corner. I could maybe go to the outside and ride the hills a little bit, just like I did the inside cliff there. But yeah, the important thing is that I really do this carefully. And that's something that I think will be missing from the other part. Just because the whole mud surface slows you down so much that yeah, you're really not doing much but just hitting the gas and keeping it steady. And I should also disclose at this point that I've tried to do this before, this whole testing thing. It didn't really work out that well. I deactivated rain afterwards because I got a rainfall right when I was on the incline on the mud road, and basically I couldn't get past that until the rain stopped. Like it completely locked me from doing anything there. And also some other stuff happened, like tipping the truck over multiple times. It just didn't really work out. So yeah, I decided to do this again and hopefully get better results, because I was really not happy with that. But yeah, second time's hopefully the charm here. Because I don't want to go for a third one. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, that sucked. I should have maybe let it tip over. I didn't expect to be hitting the tree that hard, or I kind of hope that tree would just be one of the dynamic ones that flies away. But yeah, we are going to keep going here. That's the reason why I don't usually do these kind of tests, but this is something that can happen very easily with Virgimusi, so I would really need to do some training in order to fully avoid it. But yeah, if my other attempt at all of this was to show anything, it's that rainfall can really screw you over with a shortcut. Another thing of importance here, which is actually a bit of a downside of this route, because the truck is so top heavy, I would actually like a looser surface to drive on, because then the wheels would slide out. Right now with tarmac, the wheels just grip on there, so the bottom part of the truck doesn't really budge if there's any lateral movement. The top part, however, does, and that's not what I want here. So if the wheel just starts sliding out a bit, that's actually to my benefit here. Yeah, I actually did a little bit of a thought experiment. I was looking at the map and I was just wondering how the game would play out with if the new mud road was actually just this kind of ground, the gravel or whatever this is supposed to be. Like something that could that most vehicles would be able to drive on, or even just the regular old mud version, the one that we got with Gwangjin. So maybe a bit slidey, but nothing too difficult. Because I think for a lot of the jobs wouldn't necessarily even go through the shortcut. I can show you that after we have finished the run, what I mean. Because there are a few factors that actually speak for the longer way around. Like the paved road. The fact that you are passing by one of the sparsely provided things here, the gas stations. And yeah, I just tapped out because as soon as we hit the... fucking hell, I'm gonna stop it here. Okay. I tried tapping out and just stopping it as soon as I hit the delivery point, but with that whole thing happening, yeah, this is all a bit screwed up. So I think I shaved a few seconds off at the end. I would have needed to go a bit slower around the bend and do the delivery like that. So this would have been longer in that case, but also just the amount of time it would have taken off the clock if I didn't have that accident. Yeah, I think we would have been a few seconds earlier. But I'm just gonna keep it at 10:35. And for comparison, since I did this one trip already, 10:35 was actually the same time that I got the other attempt. Let me actually look it up. I don't think you'll believe me, but it's, yeah. 10 minutes, 35 seconds, 0.38. I had about 2 times where I really tripped over myself there. So I think what happened here is that we got slowed down due to the accident and the damage that we took. But overall, this is pretty close to the other times I'm taking it. But we got a repair, of course. So let's do that real quick. I'll also maybe refuel. Yeah, might be worth refueling. So yeah, 10:38 for the first trip. Second one will start in a moment. Let's just put it up to around 80%. Pretty much the same as it was before. Not that I think that the fuel matters in this case. I don't even know if the cars behave differently with less fuel in the tank. I know the tanks themselves weigh something if you buy extra tanks and that kind of stuff. But outside of that, I'm not really sure how that all works. But yeah, I think this run was overall cleaner, but the problem was when I hit that tree, I of course took some damage, and that might have slowed me down for the last bit of it. And in the end, it worked out to pretty much counteract the other run where I didn't have any damage, but two not so major incidents. But yeah, 10:35. Let me just clear the timer. And we are going to go for the refuel. I might as well stay tapped in for this whole thing. And this time, of course, we are going around the other side. Only lumber mill. And the thing that I want to say here is that there are a few cases where you would actually want to take the shortcut if you have a suitable vehicle. But right now, for how restrictive the mud is, you would really have to compromise on what you take around here, so that's already one problem. The oak places only have deliveries towards the warehouse, so you cannot directly shortcut to the lumber mill. The oak places might have, or no, I mean the regular logging places might have, but you cannot take those logs with the Limousin. The semi is not a good pick here, and yeah, everything else, even if you come from the south with maybe a fuel delivery, of course you could try going through here, but then you would need some refueling truck because, well, you have one gas station over here, the other one up here. I would suggest you maybe take the detour and go here. But yeah, if you have a refueling truck, which of course you would have to set up to begin with, then you could go directly over here and do whatever delivery you want to do, including with the logs, although, oh no, I mean the planks. That doesn't always work out because, well, with a Métis, this is not a suitable road. So you might need to go around or maybe cut through the middle here somewhere. There are definitely a few spaces where you can make it work, but that would be cross country, which could also be kind of interesting in its own right. But yeah, we are going to stay on the given paths here. And when it comes to deliveries to the logging warehouse or to and from here, also the fuel, I mean, this will be a bit shorter. There's, of course, the serpentines to take into account. But overall, again, with the gas station, you are still always going to at least consider the road, I think. And I know it feels like this whole thing is just a bit too restrictive to be really worth it. Anyways, we should get going, so let me go back to the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Trying to get back in while also shifting up manually, so that I don't just red lamby thing in first gear over time. No. I'm not going to pull over. Jesus Christ, this is a loose dirt road. Who cares if I'm on the wrong side if nobody's around apart from you, idiot there. Stickler for the stupid rules. But yeah, I think when if this was actually not a mud road but just a regular one or a regular dirt road like over here, of course people would be using it, but I don't think it would be used all the time. And I should have maybe refreshed the buses, but too late now. And even with the regular mud, there are a few slightly longer inclines. They are not as steep as something that you can see in Guangjin or so, but they are still, just because they are longer, is going to also put a bit of strain onto the vehicles. You can only keep your momentum up for so long. After a while, your actual engine power needs to pull through. And with fuel tank sizes and everything else, I think there's a good chance that a few times you would still want to take the longer route. And besides that, there are still a lot of jobs that require you to go back to Jeju Island. So then you are definitely not going to go into the dirt road because that's just going to be longer at that point. And we've also done that whole thing for so often. Been on the main road up and down dozens of times. I think just having a bit more variety with your route planning would be a good thing at this point. And that shortcut, if it was just a regular dirt road, would have likely helped a lot here. I don't know. I could also be wrong. There is a potential that people would be using this for anything if they could. But right now I'm a bit torn on the thing. The location of this whole new connection, the little shortcut as they call it, is absolutely brilliant, and I'm pretty sure that there was already some pre-planning done for this road to be here at some point. And I'm just gonna go straight into 6L lock. Okay, maybe not even that. We are slowing way down. And that's kind of the other thing. At the end of the day, being faster isn't the only factor. This might be faster in the end. I mean, on the other run we were pretty much at the gas station now, while we are now really going straight towards our destination here. Come on, you should be able to do this. But this is so stupidly slow, and not really the interesting kind of slow in my opinion. So I mean, that's really the thing that gets me about this road. The mud slows you down in a way that I don't think is really interesting. At least not once you have a vehicle that can do this. Upshifting is a bit of a risky maneuver because it also slows you down again. But really what I'm gonna be doing now for a while is just I'm gonna hold the accelerator, some slight steering inputs, but that's about it. That's kind of the intended experience that you have here if you're using a vehicle capable of dealing with the mud. If not, you get stuck, you reset back to the road or just teleport back home or something. But with with whatever vehicle you use that's ready for this road, this is kind of what you get. And honestly, I've done a lot of testing here. I've taken a lot of vehicles across this road. I even bought the Mammoth, the hammer-looking thing, originally in real life made by Lamborghini. And yeah, they all just go to around 40 kilometers, a bit quicker once we go to the decline, but they don't really ever get fast. They are never really fun to use here, and yeah. I think it's important that they made it so that some vehicles get a bit of an advantage here. I think compared to the disadvantage of using this compared to some of the other trucks or so, you're not really winning here anyways. But just looking at the time, and I'm expecting to be a bit quicker here than the other run. Just looking at the time is kind of missing the point. The game should be fun, should be engaging, and well, in the end that's all not really objective. It comes down to any individual person, how they feel about it. But I honestly feel like this is so boring that I don't want to do this anymore outside of the testing. I'm still kind of fascinated by it. I want to try and find something that works really well, but I think at this point, until we see another update, and by the time this video comes out, it might already have gotten another update with some changes to the mud. I'm still in T1. Until we get something like that, I don't think this is really worth my time. It would be worth it if I was enjoying it, or if I was just going for maximum efficiency of some sort. But then again, I think maximum efficiency here is to take a larger vehicle around the outside. Because capacity-wise, we are really not moving a lot here. And even the Jemusi Semi, which with short trailer can take twice as many logs, that thing doesn't really make it through there. I can use the winch for every single incline, and it's gonna take a long time because I'm going at 1 kilometer per hour. I've done that once, just to have done it and see if it was possible. Yes, it is possible, but it's kinda stupid. In a way, it's a bit more engaging than this because you are at least doing something actively, like relocating the hook a few times, and yeah, pretty much that. But it's not something that I would see worthwhile repeating. Like on this road it's fun again because I need to take care of the truck so that it doesn't fall over. Also in the moment I should take care that I don't repeat the mistake from last time. But I can of course make new mistakes. And I'm just going to space out here a bit sooner. Oh yeah, downshifting is also a good idea. But yeah, that's this one done in 9 minutes 49:07. So that's 45 seconds quicker than the last time. Lost about 46, whatever. So 3/4 of a minute have been saved through this, and yeah, I mean, that's definitely a result. Can't say that the way around is faster by any means. But once again, that's not the only metric that I care about here. And I gotta say there was some interesting shifting to be done there, but once you have the right gear, you can basically go autopilot, I guess. Or just speed limiter. But I think another thing that we should do now in comparison is actually take a proper semi-truck and do the outside route again. Let's see. Do we take the Titan, which is my off-road truck, or do we go for FL1 or Golima? Let's take the Golima is slightly damaged. Also, I don't know why the list isn't in reverse. Yeah, Titan should do. And of course the full-length trailer for this. I don't know if this is going to be a long video just by how long it is already, but I think that yeah, this is kind of a last comparison that we need to do in order to have somewhat the full picture here. I might be taking just the regular logs because I have more of them. In the end, I don't think it matters too much. But let's see first. Old lumber mill. I mean, I cannot really fill this up anymore. But yeah, these are just about twice as heavy, so that works out pretty well. Full truck, as it should be. So let's get ready. Clear all, and 3, 2, 1, go. And yeah, off to a good start here. Of course, we are now running a heavy-duty engine. And yeah, of course, my trucks are all fully upgraded to the best of my abilities. And this thing, while still likely decently top-heavy, I don't think it's anywhere near as top-heavy as the other one. Partially because the wheels are further out. And also just the weight of everything further down below. Both the truck itself and also the trailer, they are just a different weight class. And I'm gonna be taking some liberties with the corners here. But I feel like compared to the Limousin, we are pretty much flying here. I should really set my steering speed a bit further up again. I don't like it for regular cars, but for semis and buses, it's kind of annoying just how slow the default speed is. Okay, now we are going uphill and now we are really feeling it. But yeah, this whole thing also depends on what your kind of goal is with everything here. If I just want to fill up the lumber mill as fast as I can, I don't think you're gonna beat this. Because basically at that point I could take the final time and divide it by 4. Because of 4 times the capacity. In terms of money making, well, it depends on how you value the entire thing. The logs here are definitely easier to get because they are regular logs and not the oak logs, but you also need more of them in order to fill up the entire trailer. Then again, you can get them faster. But yeah, in order to make something that's maybe around the same amount of money as with the Jimusi or even slightly better, you definitely need to get more resources in order to fill your trailer to begin with. So from that perspective, with the Jimusi, you're definitely making the most out of the resources because of the cargo scaling. I was worried about having to overtake that guy in front of me, but right now we are, well, we should be coming closer again, thanks to us now being on a downhill. But really he has not been an obstacle so far. Ah. This would have been a good point to just get past them. But I had to let that bus pass me beforehand. Very safe maneuver. Nothing to see there, and that guy for some reason went into the turnaround loop behind. I don't know why. I mean, in the end, those things are going to be turned into ongoing roads, and at that point, it doesn't really matter anymore. I guess it's easier for them to implement the intersection right away and put down one of those loops at the end, which are pretty much standard by now, instead of just turning that whole thing into a corner with the intersection and then changing it up later down the line. I don't know. That's what they have been doing, and that's why I think it's working for them. So right now the loops are a bit off, but who cares? It's not going to be a long-term solution. And of course, this is not the only option for the delivery. I could also go for the Jimusi Semi with trailer if I wanted to. Not gonna do that in this video, that would be kind of overkill. But it might be a good little middle ground between power and weight. So half the weight for the load as this current thing here, but I think we are not down to half the power, it's slightly more than that. I think the engine without turbocharger is like 400 or 540 horsepower on heavy duty, and the medium duty one is 330. So we have slightly more than half a power with the Limousis. Oh god. I was looking at the timer for a moment. That didn't sound nice. But yeah, those bumps can be nasty. So I feel like when it comes to the time, we were doing pretty well at the beginning, but the whole uphill section has really slowed us down. And I think even the Limousin on the same route here might have taken a bit of a lead off in front of us here. But yeah, about 2 minutes left if we want to beat the at least the Limousin on the same route. Then again, I was honestly expecting to be a bit slower. After all, we are having 4 times the load here, so that's gonna account for something. And that's kind of another factor with this entire thing for me. The satisfaction, the feeling that I accomplished something with my journey here. And that's the thing that I think I already mentioned in the beginning. 2 oak logs with the Limousin never feel like a good deal because they're putting so much time and effort into it that it feels like you should be getting a bit more out of it in terms of what you are transporting. This one is not quite as spicy as the Limousin. Also not quite as capable as it. Because there's no way in hell we are going to go through the mud road with this whole road train. But it's also not completely boring. You gotta be somewhat careful, otherwise you can easily tip it over. And yeah, we are going to come in a bit slower than the Limousin here in both versions. But I think that's okay. But in the end, the data is always up for interpretation. I had my fair share of issues on every single run, and in the end it depends all on how anybody wants to approach this kind of thing. That's because I feel more at home with a semi-truck here, or even just the Limousin semi if need be. Doesn't mean that anybody else can't do anything else there. And yeah, in the end, when it comes to the mud road, I don't think it's gonna be for me. I've done enough testing that I would have likely come around to it by now, but I just couldn't find anything where I would really enjoy going through there. But that might not be the case for somebody else. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I would rather see maybe just the regular mud as a surface there. For other people it might be the perfect thing as it is. I don't know. But I just think the way it slows you down is kinda ridiculous and not really that fun. Okay, and we are coming in at around 12 minutes. I'm gonna stop it here because, well, it's not really the truck's fault that I cannot hit the delivery point. But yeah, logs have been delivered. If I was a little bit better, I could have also taken care of or note of the amount of money you make. I mean, 14k for the other delivery, and I guess the first one would have been around the same. So yeah, we make a bit more money. We needed to get more logs for that to begin with, but we could have also just skipped the warehouse entirely with this load and gone straight around. Of course, at that point, if we could have gone through the mud road, going from over here down here would have been absolutely the way to go. And yeah, I don't really know. At this point, I think I've shown you guys the stuff that I wanted to show you. What you do with the data is kind of up to you, but something that I think a few people are always happy to forget, that yeah, getting the data, even if it is empirically collected without with as little human influence as possible, it always depends on the interpretation. And if you want to see something in the data, you are definitely going to find that. Doesn't mean that it's objectively correct. So let me know what you learned from this, what you think after seeing the 3 different trips, and yeah, I think it's pretty clear where I stand at this point. So yeah, let me know your opinions, and especially about the whole mud road in general. And that's gonna be it for this one. And yeah, till next time, have a good one and take care. Bye bye.